RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right, I knew I forgot something. I forgot to put the Tarabuster thing on behind me on the TV. It doesn't matter. Hi, guys. Io Saturnalia. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that in your ear. Okay, guys. Happy whatever, Christmas Eve. And it is Saturnalia. That Saturnalia came first. I'm an originalist. Yeah, right? So I only do things that were done 2,000 years ago. I never change. That's my American birthright. I never take in new information. I never mature. No, I'm trying to channel Republicans. But okay, listen. Let's call up Robyn or Roxanne Kincaid. I know it's going to be tough for me to remember to call Roxanne. I'll just call her R. Oh my God, look at Francis in the corner there. Look how cute he is. Oh, geez Louise. You're trying to hog up the cuteness. Look at Francis. He knows we're talking about him. Oh, here he comes. All right, guys, let's call up Robyn. Hope you're doing well. If you're on any other platform, come on over to youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster to join the chat room. It's a little sparse at the moment, but there will be people. I know there always is. And it is actually, Saturnalia Eve. All right, let's calling one ringy dingy. Two ringy dingy. Trying to call at least. Here we go. Bing bang boom. Bing bang boom. Bing bang boom.
Give me just a sec.
You got it. Bing bang boom.
Camera button. Here we are.
Ayo.
Hey, Tara.
Hey, hold on. Where are you? There we go. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Ayo Saturnalia.
Yo, Saturnalia.
Is it Ayo? Ayo. It's like reminds me of Ed McMahon. Eo.
Yo, Saturnalia. Yo, Saturnalia.
Oh, yo. Saturnalia. All right. Stop correcting me. What's going on? I'm only kidding. Hi. I was listening to you. Your show is great, of course, and
thank you.
So I was listening, but that's why I was like, when you started talking about Manchin, that's something I'm so infuriated about, because he's such a phony, and
such a tool.
Yeah, and of course, I'm so sick of this frame, and we're getting it validated by, of course, Manchin and Cinema. The Republicans are all about how the Dems are weak and woke, and that's the big problem. Like, the big problem is all the liberals in the Democratic Party.
Wokeness, yes.
Right, wokeness,
and
trans,
and cocaine, and rats on cocaine, and pickleball courts in Las Vegas. I'd like a pickleball court.
Right.
Because I figure out what it is.
I know. What is this pickleball? Everybody's doing pickleball. I don't know. I heard about pickleball. I never. Whatever. It's the kids are doing it. Pickleball. So no, but I wanted to do a short video about it. Actually, the Manchin and himself talking about how, the Democratic Party's lost its roots, its working class roots. They're more concerned. Of course, he has to kick down on trans people. They're more concerned about trans people. Who? I wish. Really,
yeah,
I wish. It's the.
I think there are two active, maybe three, but I know of two who spoke up, back during the NDAA vote, and that was Maxwell Frost and AOC.
Right, but it's like, we can also chew gum and walk at the same time. You can protect freedom and the human rights of a targeted minority group, and also
Well, you can't if you don't have the votes to do that.
yes,
We saw
true.
that with the NDAA, 81 Democrats.
Yes, no, that's I'm just saying, but I mean, you can do, yeah, you're right, 100%. But Joe Manchin doesn't help because he's talking about working class people that the Democrats they've lost their way, and this is what I'm talking about, just like what you said just now, because he's lying through his teeth. Like I would rather have a debate or at least come at any problem that we face on the bedrock of reality. I mean, and you're right, saying that the Democrats,
this idea that somehow there's a dichotomy between working class and marginalized communities,
right,
is insane and infuriating.
It's absolutely true, because it's like it's another divide and conquer tactic, of course. But you're right. I mean, the Democrats are voting against, they voted against trans people. It's not like they all voted in lockstep to protect the rights of trans people. So that in itself is, of course, Manchin is lying. But also that he's complaining that the Democrats are not, they're abandoning the working class, when who abandoned the working class except for Joe Manchin and his ilk and the conservatives? Because Joe Biden has been one of the most progressive presidents in our lifetime as far as working people are concerned.
Honestly, it's a shame. It's a shame his legacy is going to wind up the way it is.
Yeah, because they're rewriting it as we speak. It's a constant revision, and that's why it's so sickening. Like, I went to the doctor yesterday for a checkup, and one of the questions, he's like, so, how you feeling? You feeling depressed? You're feeling, whatever they go through, and I'm like, well, I'm just a little depressed about the next 4 years under that baboon. But other than that, I'm all right, fair to partly cloudy. And he's like, what, you don't like Trump? And I'm like, no, that's putting it mildly. But then he goes, well, I voted for him. But he's a immigrant, the doctor. He comes from some Latin American country. I don't know which one, but he's like, well, I did it because, what do you do? There's crime everywhere. You can't get on the subway. I mean, this is the canard.
Hey, Doc, when's the last time you got crime?
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. And I was like, well, maybe you should, not watch Fox News too much. I didn't want to get into it with him, really, because I made the mistake of making an assumption.
I'm surprised you made it through the appointment and didn't just get up. Yeah.
That's what it was. It was like I made the mistake of making the assumption that he was not, that he voted like a normal person, but he as a normal, intelligent, conscious person who, lives in reality, but I guess not. And so, for him to say, oh, it's, crime is so bad and that's why I had to vote for Trump, is just is a lie, And first of all, what would Trump do about crime in New York City anyway? I mean, this is a local problem if that's the case. And,
is he another one of those Igamfu immigrants? I got mine. Fuck you.
Probably, yeah, because he's not from America. He's got a very thick accent.
Haul away the undocumented people to a secure, undisclosed location.
Yeah, and then he said, "Did you see what happened on the train? And some guy stabbed somebody on the train, and then he got off the train, then he stabbed somebody else." I'm like, that has nothing to do with Trump, or and it has to do with a mentally ill person, obviously, or
Okay,
this happens all the time. Crime happens.
What is the story about a woman burning alive in the subway?
What is that happened? A woman burning alive?
I saw a reference to it, and it's like, nope.
Today?
I don't have the capacity for that.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Or so, I don't know.
Let me look it up.
Because somebody's having a conniption, and of course it's interesting you bring up subway crime because that's the new caravan.
Yes, exactly. For people who don't even live here. And then the people who live here. I doubt the doctor takes the subway, for Christ's sakes, if anything, right?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. He's not taking the 7 to wherever the hell he's going, and I doubt it.
Yeah, so. This creep, this guy who's going to be the border czar for Nitwit Nero.
I see.
His name Holman.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Holman. He went after your governor, Kathy Hochul, over on Fox News TV Radio Rwanda.
Mm-hmm.
Because she announced that she'd done things to make the subways safer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Some homeless person or something set somebody on fire.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. So let me see. It says
the undocumented immigrant.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay. Horrific incident. Let me just read what it says. It says happened on December 22nd, 2024. A woman was intentionally set on fire while sleeping on a stationary F train at the Coney Island Stillwell Avenue station in Brooklyn. The suspect, identified as 33-year-old Sebastian Zapeta, allegedly approached the sleeping woman around 7:30 a.m. and used the lighter to set her clothing on fire. The victim's clothes became fully engulfed in flames within seconds. Surveillance footage shows Zapeta calmly walking up to the victim before committing the act. After setting the woman on fire, Zapeta reportedly exited the train and sat on the bench on the subway platform, watching as the victim burned. Police officers' routine patrol noticed smoke and discovered the woman on fire inside the subway car. Despite efforts to extinguish the flames, the woman was pronounced dead at the scene. Oh my God, that's a horror show. It's a nightmare. Zapeta was arrested later that day after 3 high school students recognized him from the police-released images. He was found with a lighter in his pocket. He's been charged with first-degree murder and arson. According to immigration officials, Zapeta is an undocumented immigrant from Guatemala who had previously been deported in 2018 but re-entered the United States at an unknown time. The identity of the victim has not been released. Oh, God. See, when I hear this shit, I'm like... No, it's horrible. And but then...
Holman had to wave the bloody shirt.
Right, and that's it. Because they love this.
Shame on her.
Yeah.
She supports sanctuary status in that state. She welcomed thousands of illegal aliens.
Well, sanctuary. This is the canard that the Republicans constantly churn up. Because the reason, what's a sanctuary city? That if you're an undocumented migrant, immigrant, whatever, you're able to use the police, the fire services, the ambulance services without being questioned on your immigration status. That actually makes all of us safer. Right. So, it's a reality that some people are here and they're not documented. But what will happen if they're afraid to contact the police, and for themselves too? They could be the victims of crime
let's take that day that happened, and collate every crime that happened in Greater New York.
Right, exactly.
And tell me how many of them were perpetrated by undocumented immigrants, and how many by just plain old garden variety citizens.
Absolutely, and there you go. That's why. When Trump was in the first time, I'm sure you remember, he announced that one of his... This
guy got in the first time under Trump.
Right. And then, but it does say, how did he get back in? They don't know. Who knows what the real story? How come they wouldn't know how he got back in? I guess if you're not documented. But aren't they? I don't know. How would they know he came in? He did he come in 2018? Is that what it's saying?
No, he was deported.
And
then
deported.
He came back. But he came in under Trump.
Okay, right. Yeah.
God forbid the for-profit media should,
Of course. Well, they don't want to be accused of being woke or not fair to the rapist con man with the fake university and the vitamin scam. I mean, they don't want to get feel that his lash, the sting of the lash of his anger on them, crying unfair, unfair. Everyone's picking on me. I mean, for all they're such manly men, these maggots, right? Oh my God, something just screamed in my ear. But they're so fragile. Did you hear that, Bing?
No.
Oh, okay. It was some email notification, but it was like incredibly loud. I don't know why. I don't know why I got that. Anyway, yeah. Hello, everybody. Yeah, everything sucks. But this is what I'm saying. This whole incident, and it's during his first maladministration. I'm sure you remember when he announced that they were creating the Office of Immigrant Crime. Remember
Yes.
that? What a disgusting, right out of the Nazi playbook that is. And it's designed specifically and solely to make people afraid of immigrants, to hate the others, to hate
To be afraid in general.
right, and it's not talking about undocumented crime. And the other thing is, and we talked about this last time, if you want to do something about undocumented immigrants, take the goddamn help wanted sign off the border, because as you know, did we talk about this when we were together last time? One of the MAGAts, Trump's #1 donor, was caught using undocumented and illegal immigrant workers.
The Uline couple.
Yes. And they had a whole operation going to get undocumented. Well, no, it wasn't that they were undocumented. They were helping them get visas but they were bogus visas, because they were coming in under tourist visas and whatnot. And of course, they weren't tourists; they were working.
Where they're that visa doesn't allow them to work and make money.
And that's what it was. And they were busing them in, and then they were putting them in company dorms, and of course paying them shit wages. And under those circumstances, you can't. And that's why they like it, because you can't complain. You can't go to the authorities.
You don't have to worry about workers' comp.
That's
you don't have to worry about unemployment.
Yeah, you're nothing but you're an indentured servant until they are done with you.
And a profit producer.
That's it. Right. And it's really the closest thing they can get to modern indentured servitude and slavery again, because if they could, they would bring it all back officially. That's for sure. Just like they're bringing back child labor laws. I mean, undoing child labor laws and bringing back child labor. And all they have to do is prosecute the ones who are hiring people. In other countries, if you're a business who hires illegal immigrants, then you get fined. You get in trouble. You're part of the problem. So why not here? Why not? If that's your mission, you're so afraid of immigrants coming in undocumented, then you could. It doesn't mean that that's the only thing you do. But they're always attacking the politically unconnected, vulnerable, but not their rich donors.
That's easy.
Of course,
because it's easy.
And the scam, that in itself, and this is why I wish the Democrats would listen to our shows and whatnot, because why aren't they pointing this out? In general, that okay, it's great to beat down on the vulnerable and the desperate, but they wouldn't be coming here at all unless there was a pull factor involved. If they were getting jobs and money, otherwise, why are we not finding the rich?
Look, I mean, here's the fundamental calculus of it. Do you, Tara Devlin, have the money to go out and hire an undocumented immigrant to do whatever it is you need done?
I don't know. How much is it?
You don't? Nor do I.
Probably not. I mean, they're always over by like Home
doing
Depot.
This hiring or construction contractors.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Massive corporations, hog killing, chicken killing facilities.
God. Yeah.
Meat processing plants.
Yep.
Where where no citizens want to work.
Right. Yeah. Yep. And then the whole thing with the slaughterhouses is so repugnant, and then you have children in there witnessing all of this horror, all this horrible abuse.
Anticipating it.
Yeah, and what does that do to their minds? And of course
we know it's been studied. It makes people.
It's going to make
It brutalizes the people who work there.
Right, and they'll end up being who knows, whatever.
I think it was 20 years or so ago, PETA snuck cameras into a poultry processing plant in Virginia, and found that the workers themselves had become sadistic.
Yeah, they like abusing the animals. It's horrible. Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. It makes me very upset.
I know.
That's why I don't eat animals.
It's disgusting.
It's fucking vile, and it really says everything about us humans. Have no respect, and it's a reflection of our sickness, really. And and the thing is, though, that's what I always talk about too on my show in general, that if they could, the people on the slaughterhouse lines, the people working in those repugnant facilities, if the owners could, they'd push them right into the meat grinder behind the animals too. It's there's no difference. Except you're a little higher on the ladder there, but not much. That's for sure. You're still nothing but a host from which to suck profit and discard. They don't care about your hopes, your dreams. You want to live. You want to have a good life. No. I mean, it's a total reflection of our absolute...
Right. The whole...
disgusting...
myth of the American dream.
Oh, please, yeah. That's it. Well, the American dream, as you know... they've redefined it. The right-wingers have redefined it from you too can have a decent middle-class life to maybe one day you'll be a billionaire too, and you can exploit the other. If you watch like any show, I've been watching like sometimes on YouTube or whatever, the what do you call it? Not the Dragon's Den, that's the English one. The Shark Tank, and I've been watching Dragon's Den too, but they, when they come in, they pitch their things, and I can't tell you how many
sharks.
Yeah, I have this beautiful bottle that I invented, and yes, so they always, not always, but a lot of times they mention how, you are the American dream, you're the personification of the American dream, and that means the American dream is now you should be a rich shark. Just be a rich guy, rich person, entrepreneur.
Greed is good.
Yeah, and that's it. Not everybody's going to be an entrepreneur, and this is the whole fallacy of whatever bullshit the conservative ideology is generally bullshit. That there's a natural hierarchy. That's the conservative ideology in a nutshell. How and ultimately it goes back to monarchy.
It's like the story I had at the top of the program. He's now promising to ameliorate white grievance by changing the name of Denali back to Mount McKinley.
Oh no!
Because it'll make the white people feel so much better.
Oh, God.
Not to be, see, naming it Denali was woke.
Yeah, that was...
even though the state of Alaska did it 25 years ago.
Yes, it's too woke to honor the indigenous history.
To use the name for a place that is actually
the name.
Of the place that was given to the place by the people who lived there for the last 50
Right. Oh, but it's the statement is basically go fuck yourself. That's what they're saying.
But see, Tara, when we call it Denali, that means that when white people see that, they're like,
wow. They get all hurt.
Reminds me of how we stole it.
Mommy,
I feel white guilt. I didn't steal any mountains.
I'm an oppressor.
I have to be reminded of it.
Yes. And you know that bullshit story. One of these senators. Yes. That one of these right-wing senators went up on the floor and told a very obviously fabricated tale of bullshit that the kid came home and was like, "Mommy, what did you learn in school today, Johnny?" "Mommy, I learned I'm an oppressor." Get the fuck out of here. "Mommy, am I an oppressor?" What?
A pumpkin.
What?
Break it.
We must go to the school board meeting and scream. Yeah, right? Mommy, I'm an oppressor, and my black friend is oppressed. No, I'm just thinking. When I was growing up, there was a PSA. I don't know, maybe they had it in West Virginia too, and it was about racism. I guess it was kind of woke.
I grew up in Alabama. I promise you.
Yeah, you didn't see it, right? Yeah. It said there was a father or grandfather and a child, and they were like, the kid was like, "Oh, that's my black friend Jeff or Jimmy or whatever," and the wise grandfather said, "Well, why do you call him your black friend? Isn't he just your friend?" Yeah, that was a, and I was like, huh, yeah, that's true. But that's how I got woked, I guess, back in the 70s. But that's a nice, of
and
course.
And now you know you're an oppressor.
I'm an oppressor, but I mean, it's just that, what the hell? I was able to see, as a little white lesbian on Staten Island, living with nothing but Italians and Irish. Oh, yeah, that is kind of, it does say a lot, yeah. Why is he my black friend? Not just my friend, But I guess that would never go on the air now.
My first grade class was the first grade class to be integrated.
Oh, what? Your first grade? Holy shit.
When I started first grade, it was the first time there had been an integrated class.
Holy moly.
And,
that's crazy.
Kids are kids.
Yeah, what happened? How many black kids did you have in your class? One?
No. No. There were 4 or 5. 6.
And were they abused?
No, we were just. I mean, I guess maybe some were.
Oh, okay. So they were. That's when you said kids are kids. I thought you meant like they were abusive.
Kids play.
Yeah, they're just playing and not. Yeah, who cares, right? That's what really terrifies the Republicans, of course, the conservatives, is that, as far as I know, maybe I'm in a bubble, but younger people, they don't give a shit about all this bullshit. They are woke. They are, they don't care about, they're less racist. They're not homophobic. They're not transphobic. They're a progressive generation.
But that has its limits.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The Gen Z dudes.
Oh yes, that's true. You're right. They're being targeted deliberately. Yeah,
they were targeted in this campaign and told that they're being replaced and the trans are out to get them.
That's right. Yep. That's right. Mommy, am I an oppressor? But what is it with the Republicans? It's like, it really kind of fits in with all what we're talking about, is that I can easily or whatever have a debate with anybody, but we have to start from the basic frame of reality. And even that bullshit story that the senator said on the floor about how a kid came home and asked, "Mommy, I'm an oppressor," or whatever. It's just such, they just have to make shit up all the time. What's that? What?
It's such unmitigated horseshit.
Yeah, and we have to stop and address it all. Like what Joe Manchin said, the Democratic Party has gone too woke. They forgot the working class. That's not true, Joe Manchin. You've never ever talk about forgetting the working class. Where the fuck have you been? You've been on your yacht begging billionaires to hire your friends.
Formulated the 2 laws of Manchins. Mm-hmm. First law of Manchin is no one named Manchin ever voted for anyone whose name wasn't
right.
Any Democrat whose name wasn't Manchin.
That's right.
Second law of Manchin is no one named Manchin ever does anything that doesn't benefit someone named Manchin.
That is right.
He wants to talk about the Democrats losing the working class. You know what says losing the working class to me? Having your daughter get into a master's degree program at my alma mater, WVU, and then never going to class, and then getting a master's degree out of it, getting a job at Mylan Pharmaceuticals, and winding up the CEO. I mean, Nepo baby much?
Yeah. Well, that's what Trump did. This is what they do. They just want the piece of paper. They don't want to actually learn and absorb and become better people.
Yeah, I mean, if they learned things, they'd wind up sitting around on progressive video broadcast talking.
Right. Saying, please become a patron. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know. At patreon.com/taradevlin, So, yes, exactly.
Yeah, speaking of which, since we're into since we're past the halfway point of my program, the fundraising deficit stands at $1,210. And hopefully we can knock some of that down somewhere along the way. I just saw a kitty go past.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that was maybe Francis.
Yeah, I think it was Francis.
Francis, get over here, Franny. He's the only one that listens to me. Francis, hey. Now he's not listening. Francis, see? Oh, here he comes. Come on up. Come on.
Oh, Francis.
Francis! Franny, come here. Come here, little one.
It's like that Shingrix vaccine ad. Frank!
Franny, get over here. Your presence is requested. Get up here. Come up. He's just looking at me. Francis, get up here. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, he's staring. He's staring at me. He'll jump when I've least expected it.
And when it'll send send bones right through your skin when he does it.
Right. So exactly. Mount McKinley, that's one of, I guess that's, Trump doesn't know shit from Shinola. What the fuck does he know about McKinley, right? And also...
He was one of our great presidents. He was a great president.
Right. Well, he, let's see, one of the lists of things...
He took a real bullet.
Right. Well, he supported high tariffs, so maybe there. Initially favored big business growth, which led to the expansion of trusts and monopolies. And he hurt competition by keeping prices high for consumers. Oh, of course, he's a real hero for the Republicans, and he was reluctant to address civil rights violations, murders, and the torture of black Americans, of course, avoiding a return to Reconstruction-era methods of control. Oh, I could see a lot of similarities. Oversaw the annexation of the Philippines, which is often criticized as an act of imperialism.
It was a brutal act. Incredible. What Mark Twain wrote about it, he was just disgusted by what we did in the Philippines. And what he wrote was so profound that his publisher said,
wow.
Not going to publish this till after you're dead.
Holy
Sorry.
shit. Yeah.
And, that was about the same time that he wrote the War Prayer, which I'm sure.
Oh, yes. So.
They're of a piece.
Well, he was, in saw firsthand the Civil War, so. Yeah.
It was during that time that we created and began to use the 45 caliber semi-automatic pistol.
What?
Because it was a much larger bullet and was more effective at stopping those drug-crazed Filipinos.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And a few decades later, they would develop the .357 Magnum round.
Oh my God.
To deal with those drug-crazed Mexicans and blacks in the United States.
Holy shit. Well, that's what's coming here. As you know, Trump wants to execute drug deal. He wants to follow Duterte's lead.
Yeah, he wants to. Well, he has a bloodlust.
Yeah, he wants to kill as many as possible.
Yeah, he wants to. It's the same bloodlust that led him to say,
well, what's the point in having nuclear weapons if you can't use them?
Yep, exactly. That's the other thing when I'm thinking about my doctor. I can't stop thinking about it. He's such a coward, though. He's a coward. Yeah. He's a childly coward. And for my doctor to be like, well, when things aren't going well, you want change. You want a fucking rapist? You want a convicted felon, a moron? We already saw this movie. We saw, the million dead, the mass graves, the worst jobs record since Herbert Hoover, the fucking, the cabinet of baboons he unleashed again. I mean, then it's even worse now. So, because there's not even any adults in the room at all. There's only, and in fact, that's the other thing that drives me nuts. I don't know. I try to stay off that fucking Twitter or whatever.
I understand.
It's really bad. It's a cesspool. It's a cesspool.
I go to Blue Sky more than
yeah.
anything.
Blue Sky is like Twitter in the way it was.
And
There's some standards.
The fact that Blue Sky has block lists.
Yes, and that's good. I mean, the whole thing is it's run by adults. That's how it feels. Mm-hmm. And the thing that drives me crazy, and if you go on, so I'll only go on Twitter to like grab video or something. And and whenever I'm there, I see, I look at the comments. You don't know because you don't know if you're having a discussion or you're being attacked, let's say, by a right winger, an actual MAGAt, or a bot, a Russian bot. I mean, they have been unleashed.
Isn't Twitter just mostly bots now?
Yeah, so it's hard to tell which is which now. But one of the things, and it's funny because what we're talking about, how I keep hearing whenever something is posted, that's repugnant to the majority of normally emotionally mature human beings. They'll say, "Thank God the adults are in charge again," meaning Traitor Trump and the MAGAts. The adults. Thank God the adults are in charge. I don't get it. How? What are you talking about? Of course, like I said, you don't know if it's a bot. Chances are it is, but it's this is the frame that they're going for. And you know, like with Joe Manchin and the Democrats, that's what they think. And I'm sure you've seen, you know, Anna Kasparian and fucking Cenk and all that. But their message, this is why it's so irritating, is that the liberals are they went too liberal, too crazy.
Funny where crazy winds up. The too crazy line winds up.
Right, and it's and I think, of course, they're full of shit because, you know, I think we talked about this before because Anna Kasparian said she was sexually assaulted and she left the Democratic Party because she didn't like what people said to her. First of all, who fucking said something to her? Like, right. She got assaulted by a homeless man, and apparently she said that liberals, like all liberals, told her. You know,
we've got it tattooed. We've got it tattooed in reverse on our forehead.
Yeah,
or just like the word ambulance.
Yeah, and who? But it's just such a bullshit story. Who said? And if you're such a liberal, you have that in your heart, and then somebody says something stupid to you, so you're like, that's it. I'm no longer this anymore. I no longer believe in human rights, equal rights, economically vibrant, upperly mobile, working class majority. No. I am, you know, what? I'm now a right winger because some idiot said something stupid to you? I don't get it. It's such a fucking lie.
There's so much positioning going on, Tara. Kind of like when Charles Beard wrote the economic interpretation of the Constitution back in 1917, 1919, whatever. I can't help looking at the rightward lurch of Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian and that bunch without thinking, you know what, they're positioning for the dollar.
Yeah. Yep. Obviously.
They're gonna have a good dollar.
Yes.
Because they can bow and scrape and kowtow to the right wing, and they'll give the money up even faster than any so-called progressives ever.
Right. It's incredible. It really is.
I think Cenk burned a few too many bridges. You know, he at this point in time, as far as I'm concerned, he's sort of a left-ish Alex Jones.
Right. He's always screaming and yelling, and I don't know what the fuck he's talking about half the time. And it's
okay. Neither is he.
Right. It's just so. You know, one of the things that they would constantly, it seemed to trigger them, is that they would get upset when people called them grifters. And of course, you're a grifter because look at you. You change. How could you change your ideology because somebody said something stupid to you?
That's one of the things I'm proud of. You know, Cenk used to play that that shtick where he said, well, you know, I used to be a Republican, but I saw the light.
Uh-huh.
Same shtick that Ed Schultz tried.
Yes.
You know, basically, he sat up in North Dakota for years, trying to be the North Dakota Rush Limbaugh. Realized that you know nobody that job had been filled, and so then he had a road to Damascus moment, and said that and credited his loving wife for making him a liberal.
Give me a break, please. It's just such bullshit.
But I'm proud of the fact that I have always been a liberal.
Yeah.
I've never been a conservative. I've never been.
Me neither.
I've been liberal, Democrat, progressive, all along.
Yeah. Well, to me, it just seems like common sense. So I don't know, like humanism. That's what
and so you know the ideology, the operating philosophy, everything of this program of mine was the same on February the 4th, 2004, as it is now.
Yeah. Right. And
consistent.
Yeah. Right.
Committed.
Exactly.
And you know, no matter what I did relative to my own identity didn't change anything. I mean, it's like
that's right.
It's like issues relating to trans people. You know, from time to time I'll hear, you know, hey, can't you dial it back on all that trans shit?
God. Well, that's their own shit, really. So.
Well, and the question is, I was covering this stuff before I ever transitioned.
Yes.
Because when the Great Potty Wars began in North Carolina in 2016, I said that was stupid. I said it was mean-spirited. I said that it was ugly and it was entirely made up. All of which is true.
Yeah. And
I've been consistent on that as well. I'm not highlighting trans issues at the expense of other issues. What I am doing is responding to the prevalence of those issues in the news cycle of any given day. You know,
yes,
women like me would like to just live our lives.
That's it. Yep.
Okay, and not wonder if we're going to get hate crimed for trying to.
That's it.
Go
just
peek.
For being alive, right?
You know, and with that in mind, how do you not talk about it? I mean,
because it's all related.
But then again, you got to remember, back in the 60s, prior to his assassination, the white approval ratings for Dr. King were garbage.
Yes.
He was uniformly hated.
All right. He was a commie.
By the white community.
Same old, you know,
and so,
attacks.
You know, so you turn on the news and, you know, Proto Archie Bunker is sitting in his chair on Hauser Street. And I don't know why they got to bring up all these Negro issues all the time. Every time I turn on the TV, there's nothing black folks. Yeah. It's because the issue is in the public zeitgeist.
Yes.
It is the issue of the moment.
Well, they've introduced over 700 bills in this last year alone, targeting trans people. And
I'm gonna say something, Tara, and I don't want you to take it personally. Okay,
Oop.
it's not.
Oh,
it's not.
shit. Oh fuck.
No.
Here we go. What'd I do?
You didn't. That's what I'm saying. This has nothing to do with you.
All right.
But you know, people like me wouldn't have to scream for our rights if people not like me were doing a better fucking job of helping to stand up and defend us.
True.
We are not defenseless, but there just aren't enough of us to carry the day. And, you know, I wonder how many letters from cis people were sent to Rosa DeLauro, were sent to Hakeem Jeffries.
True. Well, I did. I mean, not a letter. I called, so, yeah.
Or what's his name? The dude that lost to Rafaelito Eduardo Cruz. You know. Colin Allred, you know, because he was going to be the savior. He was going to unseat it. No, but those 81, you know, how many letters did they get from people who aren't trans?
Right.
You know,
I get it.
This issue would go away if people would stand up for their fellow Americans. It's like what we were talking a little bit ago about Joe Manchin and, you know, the working class.
Right.
Most trans women earn less than $20,000 a year. A lot of us have to turn to sex work,
Yes.
which is dangerous, demeaning.
Yep.
In the instances, it's work is work and work is honorable. But I mean, let's face facts. And just at the mumble of a syllable, suddenly, working class carries a freighted meaning for, an asshat like Joe Manchin. Working class means white.
Yes. That's
and
it.
primarily male. Let's remember that in his political career, which I've been aware of for years and years and years, decades, the evening never came that he did not show up for a West Virginians for Life bean dinner or spaghetti supper.
Mm-hmm.
He was right there grunting and braying about the precious little fetuses, right with the rest of the goons.
Right. Right.
And he has taken a terrible toll on this state. When he became governor, the state of West Virginia, the way our state is organized constitutionally, is that the governor, the Secretary of State, the treasurer, the auditor, and the Secretary of Agriculture form what our Constitution calls the Board of Public Works. When Joe Manchin took office as governor in the early part of this century, all 5 of those Board of Public Works positions were held by Democrats.
Wow.
Now, 0 of them are.
How long ago was that when they held those seats?
I mean, that was post 2000.
Okay.
Because we had Bob Wise governor and then Manchin, and so the early part of this century. But by the time he was done turning the West Virginia Democratic Party into a cult of personality for himself, the party is dead. The party is moribund.
Right.
This Democratic Party in my state is probably deader than the one in Mississippi or Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's partly because of Fox News too, and Rush Limbaugh and the nonstop drumbeat of the right-wing propaganda.
And the fact that we spent decades not responding to any of that horse shit and giving people anywhere else to turn except to continue to have the poison poured in their ears.
That's it. Yeah, and that's the thing. I think there's a lot of there's a feeling, it seems, in the Democratic Party a lot of times that people will understand that it's bullshit, but you have to address everything. You have to. You can't just let it lay out there in the middle of the floor, and stink up the place.
$15 million worth of unaddressed ads.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You can't just expect, better of the American people. Clearly, you can't. A lot of people are dumb. And a lot of people just not paying attention. Really.
Yeah.
And that's what makes them susceptible to right-wing media. And if you hear that again and again, I mean, they are really good at keeping on message and the repetition of propaganda.
What's that old saying from the military? You tell them what you're going to do, tell them what you're doing, tell them what you did. Mm-hmm. Just constant message reinforcement.
Yes. That's it. And that's what they do. And you'll never hear about...
Look at your doctor babbling about crime in the subway.
Right. And there's always been crime on the subway. It's not that, a very horrific thing happened. Yeah, there's always been crime on the subway. But you could take that and you can amplify it and make it seem like, of course, by selective editing or however you frame it, that this is the biggest problem. Because as you know, the right-wingers, some of these assholes, when you hear them, they're like, oh, like Portland's a smoldering ruin, and Black Lives Matter have burned cities to the ground. They say this shit. That never happened. There's no fucking city burned to the ground. But they had to make the Black Lives Matter movement, they had to disparage it as a violent movement because they saw the danger of it, because it wasn't just black people. It wasn't just people with darker pigment. It was white people, black people. It was all people that were sick of this shit. And that's very dangerous to conservatives. So they had to turn it into a movement that was violent and out of touch and woke.
And they only did January 6th because they had to.
That's right. And when and look at the conditions. The conditions they're being kept in. These are people that fucking beat cops, that brought cattle prods and zip ties and bear spray to a so-called peaceful protest, and assault weapons. So, and we know this, and they know it, and the Republicans know it.
Take down the goddamn magnetometers.
Right. They're not here, right, for me. It's so, and then I have to hear, and this is the other thing, when he's out there calling them hostages, and he's talking to, like, legitimate news pundits, right, from the mainstream media, then no one is pushing back, right? It's like, he says they're hostages, he says it's a terrible thing, they're being kept in terrible conditions, but nobody wants to correct the record. Now, so I guess now half the country will think, oh, well, what a great thing, when he releases these fucking traitors back into the streets. It's such a goddamn disgrace. And one of the things that I was really hoping to see in my lifetime was this dirtbag go to jail. But he keeps slipping the noose, so to speak. You know, like, he is just a fucking slippery snake. And I cannot believe it, that there's no accountability for one parasite, one disgusting con man, a lifelong disco prowling grifter.
And I have caught shit for this in the past, and I understand people's frustration and fury even. But at least for the time being, that judgment of conviction, it hasn't been finalized. That's the important part. I gotta reiterate this. He is a convicted felon, but the judgment is not final until that hearing is had, and so it and there's a procedural reason why this is important. You have to have finality at each step of the legal process before you can take the next step of appeal. So with that thing on hold, it's going to remain over his head.
Okay, good. So that's good news.
Okay. And the same thing with the dismissal without prejudice of the January 6th case in D.C. by Jack Smith. That means a grand jury in 2029 can sit down and reconsider it again and re-indict.
I hope
and
so.
And he winds up spending the rest of his miserable, misbegotten, best part of him ran down his mom's shitty existence, dealing with the legal nightmares that he brought upon himself.
I hope so. I fucking hope so. I really do. Because this is out of control, and I can't stand it. It's really depressing, because really at this point we can no longer say that no one is above the law in America. There's one piece of dirt who's above the law. One dude.
Well, and we have the 1975 era Office of Legal Counsel to thank for that godforsaken opinion, which it's all it is. It's not law. It's just
right.
That says you can't criminally prosecute a sitting president. It's unreal.
And that is bullshit too. I get it, because you're not going, I guess it's the president. You don't want, you elicit a lot of feelings. What am I trying to say? So you don't want that their presidency to be stunted or stifled by incessant litigation. I get that, but when there's actual crimes, I don't know, there should be some standard here, but I guess that's why we have the 25th Amendment and everything that the colonel, what's his name now, who reported that he was trying to use taxpayer money as his own personal extortion fund. I mean, those are the checks and balances that he was on the phone, Vindman, when he was on the phone listening to this pig, no offense to pigs, the parasite, talk to Zelensky and say, I want you to do me a favor, though. And he reported it like he should. But you know, thanks to the corporate media, the for-profit, not just, I mean, the propaganda media, the right-wing propaganda, and then the other half of the media that is afraid. I don't know what. They're afraid to be picked on. They're not actually doing news. You know, it used to be the news division of the major networks, ABC, CBS, NBC, that division was expected to lose money. It was a public service, like the days of Edward R. Murrow. You know, that's the people trusted the media because they were doing the job of the fourth estate.
The corporate news divisions were not expected to be profit centers.
That's it. Yes, and now they are, and they followed suit. Now, when Fox News came on the air, it took 5 years. They poured $500 million into Fox News when that meant something, and until it turned a profit. Because they knew profit was not in its business model.
Rupert Murdoch didn't care. The destruction of the United States of America was his goal.
That's it. So that was, and they know this, and everybody knows this. Anybody who is any way, shape, or form a student of history understands this. Especially if you're communications. You need the message. That's exactly what Murdoch approached Nixon with. Oh no, Roger Ailes approached Nixon about creating GOP TV because they were losing the minds of the American people. They were losing, like, the kids were going to college and they were getting educated and they were coming out, and we had an economically vibrant white working class, right? And that because of they're unionized workers, they were educated, and then they were able to say, they had the freedom to say, no, we don't want to go to your war. We don't want, the women burning their bras and all that other stuff. And gay people wanted a seat at the table. Black people wanted a seat at the table. I mean, all of that was that's chaos to conservatives. And so they knew they needed to.
Well, they see economics as a zero-sum game where if the more people in the lower and middle class who prosper, that's less for the billionaire class to hoard.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, the fact that we could end homelessness for this country.
Well, because with Elon Musk's,
a fraction of Elon Musk's money.
Right. Yes, which is that in itself is so disgusting that this message, what you just said, never gets out. It never gets out. Not even the question whether one dirtbag, one sociopath needs $1 billion. That's a sacrosanct issue that you don't touch.
Yeah, we won't be America if we don't have billionaires.
That's right. Even though it's like a cancer cell in the body politic, eating up all the nutrients. And it's the exact poster child, the illustration for why we need a high top marginal tax rate, like FDR, like Roosevelt, like Teddy Roosevelt talked about. So because these billionaires they're able, right out in the open, to buy government. They're not even hiding it anymore. It's not a phone call or a dark room in the wine cave smoking cigars. He's in the fucking halls of Congress, this piece of shit. Well,
I had the story at the beginning of the program. Leon Scum is calling for Rosa DeLauro to be kicked out of Congress because she said something he didn't like.
Oh, get out of here. Really? Oh, boy. Well, I guess the Republicans will get right on that. I'm sure they'll do something about that. They have to follow.
They'll have to censure her. They don't have to vote
something. Oh, but don't worry. Trader Trump, he assured us that he's in control. It's not Musk. He swears. Oh, people are saying. Don't you hate him? Oh, God. Where's the wall? I want to hit my head. No. I mean, like when he imitates the press. Don't you want to
this Greenland Panama Canal?
Oh God, it's so tedious.
I mean, but it's also dangerous, Tara. He's talking about pulling a pootie and annexing Greenland.
Wow. Is that what he's saying? Marching into Greenland, like with invading force?
See, he's okay. He is so dumb. You know, he doesn't know what he doesn't know.
Right. He's a dumb.
Dunning-Kruger president.
Uh-huh.
He sees Greenland and he sees that it's big. And he thinks it's got lush forests.
Yes, because it's called Greenland. I know. He's a fucking
it's like
moron.
he thinks that other countries are emptying their insane asylums and sending them here because asylum is in the word.
Yes, that's
You know,
right.
the poor goddamn dipshit.
Wow.
He can't even think back to Quasimodo. Sanctuary, right?
Oh my God, it's so true. Yeah, he's a moron. Well, I'm sure he, like you said, that's what he believes, because Greenland, it was named that way, deviously so.
Yeah.
So, people would go there when they were trying to get, I think it was,
The fact that he said, he thinks we could just move in there and just take it over.
Right. Oh my God.
Even more so, the Panama Canal. I mean, are we ready for that? Because and this kind of dovetails with CNN. Just Chicken Noodle News got absolutely blistered for sane washing all of this insanity.
Oh really? Wow, I didn't see that. That happened today.
A lawyer named Mark Elias over on Blue Sky said, 1, this expansion would require military invasions of several allies in violation of international law. 2, it would violate several treaties. 3, the Louisiana Purchase was the sale of land by a colonial power, France. These are sovereign nations.
Oh, wow. Incredible.
But, I mean, do Ma and Pa MAGAt want to see their precious babies shuttled off to attack Panama?
So what did CNN say about it?
Oh, they were just they acted like it was normal. I mean,
right, like they do with everything.
You might want Greenland, and talking about Justin Trudeau being the governor of Canada, and he's gonna make it the 51st state.
Oh my God.
Any other politician who did this would immediately be pilloried for the idiot and mountebank and poltroon that he is.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Scott Jennings, apparently, from CNN, applauded it as an amazing idea. Everything's amazing. Why don't you just, lick his ass and get it over with?
It's unbelievable. It's incredible.
He's the best. He's like playing 5D chess here.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. But the funny thing about those words...
It's incredible. It's unbelievable.
Like nobody's ever seen.
I mean, but the thing is, if you think about, because, you're a word lady, I'm a word lady. If you think about what those words actually mean...
Mm-hmm.
Incredible means unbelievable.
Right.
And unbelievable means not worthy of crediting as truth.
Wow. Right.
So it's actually the goddess of irony putting words in his mouth in which he is confessing what the state of affairs really is. He is not credible. He is not worthy of being believed. Yep. He is a consummate liar, a pathological liar.
Yeah. That's it, really, and I don't know why that's not out there.
Sociopath. I mean, what is it with these authoritarian Republicans and their fascination with sociopaths and psychopaths? I mean, remember the verified stories about dim leader W?
Yeah.
And how he would torture frogs.
Yeah.
With fireworks.
No, I don't want to hear it. It's upsetting. I know.
I'm sorry. But there it is.
Yeah.
And
no, I hear you, but you know why? Because conservatism, was it who said is engaged in mankind's oldest pursuit, the search for the superior moral justification for selfishness? Who said that? There's it was not Brandeis. It was John Kenneth Galbraith said that, and that's it. Selfishness. When they say the adults are in charge now, that's what they mean. People who don't give a shit about anybody else but themselves. And if you give a shit about anybody else but yourself, you give a shit about others, you're too woke. You're woke. You're acting woke. You're not, you got to be selfish. because selfishness is
Greed's good.
Yeah, that's it. Selfishness is and greed are the only American values. They're the same
Why
thing.
Why else do they fall over themselves, falling in love with Ayn Rand with every
Yes.
generation of young right wingers?
That's it.
Oh,
Yep.
oh my God! Atlas Shrugged. It's the greatest novel in the history of the English language.
Right.
Have you ever read it? I've read it.
I haven't, but I've read parts of it, and I've read a lot about her because of the show, and I mean, she's a sociopath. I've seen her, of course, on doing like the old clips and whatnot.
Old interview with Mike Wallace on
Yes.
sitting there.
Was smoking
cigarettes.
Yeah, and she said that altruism is evil, and I mean, she was clearly a sociopath, and she's and also, of course, she famously or infamously admired a child murderer and dismemberer who kidnapped the child and then tricked the father out of a ransom that he had already killed the girl. And I mean, it's just such a horrible story, and it was a headline to grab the headlines at the time. And Ayn Rand wrote that he was the personification of a real man, because other people didn't exist for him, and he doesn't know why they should exist. That's what she wrote. That he was acting out of pure self-interest, and that's the highest good of all. So like this sick bitch admiring this disgusting pedophile and child murderer it's repugnant.
She'd be right at home today in the MAGA party.
That's it. But I mean, it's just me talking. Why don't people know this? This is their hero. You want to know somebody? Look at their friends. You want to know who they are? Who do they admire? Who are their heroes that they're putting up on pedestals? And they all have to fall in line with this bullshit about how much they love Ayn Rand. Well, I gotta tell you, and the other thing they always say, remember when they asked George W. Bush who's your favorite philosopher? And he said Jesus. Of course they say, or they all say Jesus. Yeah. How do you square that with?
For starters.
What's that?
Jesus wasn't a philosopher for starters.
Right, but that's what he said. He's my favorite. Jesus, Jesus Christ, and But how do you square your supposed love of Jesus and Ayn Rand at the same time? Selfishness, and plus, not only was she a selfish admirer of a child murderer, she was a hypocrite on top of it all. The cherry on top of it. And that's the other thing about conservatism and the bullshit libertarianism. It's all bullshit. It's anti-human. It's anti-life. If only, get the fuck out. That's why we say with these fucking conservatives. But they want all the benefits of civilization, but they don't want any of the responsibilities we have to each other. They just want to use us and discard the society as their own plaything. But I wish they would get the fuck out and go to the woods like the Unabomber. Just go, build your own society. Yeah, you don't like it? You don't like the general welfare? Fuck off. Fuck off, Elon Musk. I don't understand why this dirtbag gets to rule us or rule Earth. He's evil. There's something wrong with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
in everything they do. It's in everything they speak about. It's everything they touch. Now we're finding, act in haste, repent in leisure. Now we're finding out what is and isn't in that stopgap spending measure.
Okay, what's in it?
It's kind of weird. The same day that my debit card got nicked, what a pain in the ass that was. I read a story where thousands and thousands and thousands of EBT SNAP benefit beneficiaries in Alabama had their cards hacked.
Oh no!
And had all of their SNAP benefits stolen.
By who? Musk?
No,
I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, yeah, could be.
Yeah.
But, nefarious internet thieves.
Right.
And lo and behold, I just saw a story earlier today. Let me get it here. When this stopgap bill passed, it had pulled out of it, again, because Leon scum, actual protection for people who have their SNAP benefits stolen.
Oh, no. So they have no recourse.
Yeah, and the SNAP cards have very light to almost non-existent security.
Yeah.
So with those skimmers, people just simply going to the grocery store can have all their SNAP benefits stolen.
Oh my God.
By a little reader inside one of the payment processors.
Wow.
And so a woman named Katie Berg, senior policy analyst on the food assistance team at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, said this past Saturday, "Today I'm thinking about the low-income families across the country who are about to discover that the SNAP benefits they were counting on to buy groceries are stolen after 11:59 p.m. last night, and who no longer have a way to get those benefits replaced because of this decision."
What? That's in the bill?
Mm-hmm. They zeroed out the theft protection.
Oh my God.
At the behest of Leon scum.
Wow. That a lot. Where is that? Why isn't that on the news? I mean,
as usual, it's not something that Chicken Noodle News is going to cover because they're busy sane-washing nitwit Nero invade Panama.
Unbelievable.
But this is devastating. This is devastating to a food insecure family.
Right. It's horrible. It's not like, where are they going to go? I mean, absolutely disgusting.
Congress approved federal funding for states to reimburse stolen benefits back in 2022. Federal funds have replaced $53.5 million in stolen SNAP benefits, impacting 115,596 homes. Those are USDA numbers.
Wow. And then not just impacting those homes, too. It's the community at large as well.
Those are children going hungry.
Right. And then, but businesses, if they give a shit, everything's about a business, but they won't be able to spend that money in their local community and get the things they need. Right. So there's a ripple effect of suffering. And of course, that's another thing about this asshole, this disgusting waste of human DNA, Musk. What the fuck, right? You don't have that. You don't have enough money, bitch. You don't got enough. Right. Your billions are not enough, and that has to be addressed as a sickness. But it's not. I don't get it. I don't get it. And for all the MAGAts who voted for Traitor Trump and this man-child Musk and that party of sycophants, shame on you, really. Will they ever wake up to this?
When you wake up and there's a leopard eating your face, don't call.
Exactly.
And another one of those instances I had earlier in the program before you joined in, New York firefighters unions.
Oh God.
In your beloved city.
Yeah.
They're real mad right now.
They're mad?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they endorsed Trump.
Oh, fuck them.
And now they're getting the 9/11 medical fund zeroed out.
Oh, good. Well, hey, that's what they only see the light when something affects them directly, because it's selfish. Altruism is evil.
Their ears are in their buttocks.
Oh wow.
Yeah. When you kick them there, they hear.
That's it. Really. Wow. Look at this. Oh my God. It's insane.
I didn't want this to happen to them. I don't want any of the evil that's coming our way to happen to anyone. But something like 48% of the voters said, "Yeah, hit me again. I can put a little stamp on it."
Right. Did you see what happened on the subway? He's going to stop that. He's going to stop it all. There'll be zero crime.
Yeah, these disabled New York City firefighters, they may not be able to breathe, but the eggs will be cheaper.
Yeah. Well, he downplayed that. He said it's very hard to get the prices down.
Prices go up.
It's very hard to make them come down.
Right. Now I'm sure they'll be very gracious to him in his inability to fucking do anything right. The MAGAts they'll still be like, well, it's Biden's fault. Joe Biden.
Well, I mean, just give him a chance. It's early. I mean, he can't just do everything overnight.
He's got to clean up that mess.
Except for the things that he is going to do overnight.
Right, like the mass deportations. I guess I don't know. I have to say because he's talking about using the military for this. What a disgusting, dishonorable, mission. It's so gross. And I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I was still called and in uniform or whatever. I would.
I don't know because I've never been in that circumstance. What does it look like when it's like, well, okay, it's we're gonna make you regular army for a while because we're invading Greenland.
Yeah, right. That would be interesting. I would like to go there. I would like to re-up just to see what the fuck. But no, I mean, one of the things I think about too, because wherever you go in the when you're in the military, all your barracks have the photos of the chain of command. That's it was bad enough having George W. Bush's fucking face up there. I can't.
Yeah. Ugh. With that constipated little smirk.
Oh my god, right? Just having that draft dodging coward.
I'm thinking the invasion of Canada is going to be really hard.
We tried that before, though. We got our asses kicked.
Yeah, and then the Canadians came down here and set fire to the White House.
Right.
Just, good measure.
Just to be, they should.
Don't
who could blame them, really? So, but it's just that's what I'm talking about in general. How it's hard to combat the disinformation, where it seems like that's what we're doing all the time. You can't, criticize the Democratic Party, go right ahead, but let's hear the reality of it, and not, they've just gone too woke and abandoned the working class. Give me one fucking bill that the Republicans have proposed that helps the working class. Right. Nothing. They have zero. Not a thing. They stand in the way.
Noodle along until,
right.
Until someone, no, you're going to be playing guitar for the rest of the night, Tara.
Yeah. But I mean, Joe Manchin, he opposed the Build Back Better Act, right? Mm-hmm. He opposed climate action.
He opposed expanding the child tax credit.
That's
so
right.
People have more food to eat.
That's right. He rejected paid family leave. He voted against pro-union legislation all the time, again and again and again. So what the fuck is he talking about?
Lined up to kiss his ass.
Right. And then he goes on his yacht. I'm sure you remember when his constituents took a rowboat and tried to speak with him on his yacht about them trying to destroy their health care, of course, right? This is what you need in life. It's so... I'm just so sick of it. I see JD in the chat who's from England, and I always say, you lucky bastard. Like how lucky it must. I mean, just the less stress, not having to worry. If you're sick, if you can afford it, going to the doctor, or you got to worry if the opposition party.
And by the way, as noted earlier. Flu is really getting a foothold.
Yes. I know a couple of people that have it. That my friend just got over it.
One of our dear friends is in the hospital with it.
Oh, no.
Right
my
now.
God.
I'm worried sick about her.
Oh, no. Did she get the flu shot? Because my friend got the flu shot and also got the flu. Bad.
Well, like I said earlier, it's kind of a crapshoot and every year the scientists and the doctors get together and they basically just guess what's going to be the dominant flu strain. And sometimes if you guess wrong, you have a problem.
Right.
But it's exacerbated in a place like Louisianistan because the government there has banned health departments from recommending a flu shot.
Oh, wow. And this is the new Republican zeitgeist. Just we're all about freedom. Go. You can go fuck yourself. The freedom. Whose freedom though? You're not free if you got polio. You're not free if you're in the hospital because your fellow Americans won't do the simplest thing to take care of themselves and the community. Really. I mean, and this is why I talk about them. Get the fuck into the woods.
That's kind of yeah. Get the fuck to the woods.
Right, like go to the woods. You don't want to have a fucking flu shot. Fuck off to the woods.
Fuck off to the woods. We've given up on the notion of community in this country. That's
it. Selfishness is the only American value. You only give a shit about yourself. Well, my child, and that's how you see in general.
We're protected against flu when I protect myself against the flu.
Yes, that's right.
You're more protected against COVID when I protect myself against COVID.
That's right. And then it's like, well, I don't want to pay. I don't have kids, so it's like me sitting here like, I don't want to pay any taxes for schools. Why do I have to pay for schools? I don't have kids. Because I don't want to live in a country of fucking morons, maybe. I like that people can read. I
like it when I turn the lights on and the lights come on. I like it when I turn the water on, the water runs and it's clear and it doesn't have poop.
There you go. We don't have parasites. We're not, the food is inspected. That's the whole thing. They're like the goldfish swimming in the water. They don't understand the water all around them. They're like, I'm free. Well, then go to the fucking woods. Go to the woods. That's the thing. Go to the woods and be free. At least the Unabomber built a cabin.
Individual and a lone wolf.
Yes. Exactly. Build your cabin. Go hunt your food. Hunt and gather your fucking food. Build, go and do whatever. You dig a well. I don't know.
Dry your poop and burn it for heat.
That's right. Exactly. Right. Go to the fucking woods. But instead, they got to sit on the internet machine that was funded and created by government research and development, right? And cry and whine about the big bad government, which is we the people, right? That's why the filthy parasites like Elon Musk and the company, what's the family, the Uline assholes the number one, they were the biggest donor to Trader Trump this last asshole time that we went through the election, and so they would rather I don't know what was I saying, just go to the woods, fucker. Like that's what I mean. Like, and they don't even have the integrity of the Unabomber. At least he took his ass and went to the woods. Right? He was not a hypocrite about. I mean, he shouldn't have bombed people, of course. If he had just left whatever, just read your books, write your little manifesto. Don't send out bombs. Nobody wants that. But at least go to the fucking woods, maggots. You could go to the woods, but that's it. They don't want to go to the woods because they want the benefits.
They won't even go glamping.
Right. They want all the benefits of civilization, but none of the responsibilities we have to each other. If you dare ask them, you just, thank you very kindly. Can you please can you please be a good citizen? Can you please be a member of the society that you suck on daily without the manners, the decency, the maturity, the integrity to say thank you, right? Can you at least do a little thing like put a piece of cloth over your face in the middle of a deadly pandemic so Granny don't have to die, and maybe I
won't wear no face diaper.
Yeah. Freedom. Take it off.
How come is it if I fart?
Yes.
I know I've got underwear.
That's
on.
what Perjury Trader Green said. If it won't protect you from a fart, I hate these people. I hate them. That's what she said. That's what
she made me think about her wearing underwear.
Oh my God! And she thought that was a real mic drop too.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, that was a moment of brilliance for her.
Right? She thought that was. And who votes for these people? Who? And that's what I'm talking about. Joe Manchin calling the Democratic Party toxic because it's always progressives, though, right? And of course, Fox News, they ran with this headline about it, And I'm just reading it. He says the D brand has been so maligned from the standpoint of, well, it's just toxic. Manchin said, well, why don't you stop making it toxic? It's toxic because we have the propaganda wing of the American media.
I don't know if you know, but he and Bernie hate each other.
Yes, of course. Yes.
And you know what, Joe? You got out of the race because you knew that a morbidly obese guy with a bulldog was going to beat you, and you couldn't stand the idea of losing. And you're gone, and Bernie's still there. So fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. And Bernie is beloved. Let's see if this fucking asshole could, command the attention of young people in general, right? He couldn't even fill a fucking, I don't know, his the back of his yacht. He filled it up with billionaires. I remember that when he filled it up, and then he asked this is the other thing. Why wasn't this a big story at the time? They did report it, but they didn't report about the corruption. That he had these fucking billionaires on his yacht, and he was telling them that if they gave his friend, another senator who was going to retire, if they gave him a job, a phony baloney job that paid a lot of money, then he might change his vote. Could you fucking believe that? And they had it on tape.
Yeah, I know.
And they didn't even. Why wasn't that like a scandal? Right.
Right.
But
because
it's normalized. Just like when Trump's like, "Give me $1 billion, and I'll give you your whatever you want." Oil companies, right? Every $1 billion or $1 million, whatever he was begging for.
And something Jeremy pointed out a few minutes ago, just the things that we're going to learn to our horror in coming weeks. Just think, Jeremy said, how many people will be hurt when or if Trump's zombie clowns manage to remove the FDIC?
Yes.
And that's another one of their fetishes.
Oh my God, I know. Anything government.
And then this from Kim, who's in New York too. She said, I realize he's just a talking head at ESPN, but Jesus, what a dick. Stephen A. Smith. I'm familiar with who he is.
Who's that? Stephen
and he was very harsh on Trump during the election, but Trump's won.
Oh.
And he's coming in on the revenge tour. And so here's more of that anticipatory obedience that's hallmark of rising fascism.
Yep.
He went on some unwatchable broadcast at Fox News TV, Radio Rwanda, Life, Liberty, and Levin.
Oh, fucking Christ.
The man with the voice made for print. He said, I voted Democrat, and I've got to tell you something right now.
Democrat.
I don't like the fact that I did.
Oh, God.
And then
my God, you pig.
I want to hear about, we're about the law. Nobody's above the law. But then you go out and you pardon your son and you try to blame everybody else.
What? Oh, my. Try to blame everybody else for what? The fact he fucking paid his time. This is okay.
And then said the Democrats didn't do enough to earn people's votes.
Except,
come up with a that tells us why we should vote for you.
Right.
We're not about America only, but about being America and prioritizing what's going on in this nation with the desolate deficit and the disenfranchised, and everybody else in between.
Oh my
and
God!
Looking out for the best interests of what is for America. That's not a crime for an American politician or commander-in-chief or senator or congressional figure to have that mentality. If Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Byron Donalds, Marco Rubio are the host of other Republican candidates coming down the pike, that's the kind of message that they're going to put forth. I'm down for it.
Oh, fuck you, you pig! Oh my God! They oh my God, I can't take it. Well, this is it. Yeah.
If the election hadn't occurred yet, would you be a Trump supporter now, Stephen Smith?
Right. He's ashamed.
I mean, he still has to prove a lot, but
this is all lies. Joe Biden created over 16 million jobs, surpassing all the job growth.
But the price of eggs.
Yeah. Since, of course, Trader Trump and all these, how many presidents combined? Wages went up and grew faster than any during Joe Biden's presidency. Okay, he signed all this pro-labor legislation, including the Inflation Reduction Act, the Infrastructure Bill, the Chips and Science Act.
Which, by the way, is still yielding results that Nitwit Nero will take credit
Exactly. And because we keep hearing from the liars, because this is the thing that drives me insane, because they'll say, the Democratic Party, they're just not doing anything. They're just toxic. They're too woke. Give us examples. Give us the breakdown. What didn't they do? Right? What would you have liked to see? Because they never get specific, because they can't get specific. For example, I mean, Joe Biden did student loan relief, overtime rules, and that traitor Trump rolled back.
People that made people's lives better.
Better. He enhanced wages for millions of workers with the overtime rules that fucking Trump rolled back when he was in office. And then Joe Biden increased it. He put pension protection. They signed this Butch Lewis Act protecting roughly 2 million workers' pensions. Minimum wage increasing, right, for contractors. What he could do with in this slim majority, he did it. The American Rescue Plan provided direct assistance to working families and local governments, right? And that helped the unemployment rate. So he supported unions like no other president since FDR. He stood by workers all the time, even walking the damn picket line. And then the infrastructure investment, right? The investment, the Jobs Act is now, it's in the future expected to continue to create hundreds of thousands of blue-collar jobs, with 90% of them not requiring a college degree. So give us the details. They never give us the details because they want, that's part of propaganda. They want you to fill in the blanks with all your fears.
You have to believe them implicitly and just take them at their word.
That's right. The share of workers, according to, I'm just reading the stats, earning at least $17 an hour increased under Biden to 79%, from 63% to 79% in 2023. Okay? Black and Hispanic workers saw the most notable wage increases. And this is what really fucking pisses me off. Yeah. Because all throughout the campaign, we heard black people are abandoning Biden and everybody's abandoning him. Every day it was a new story about which group was abandoning him, right? And but they did you hear any of these stats on corporate media? Never.
Not even MSNBC.
It was just a fucking poll about what people think, and that's not news. All it is social contagion. In U.S. during Joe Biden's presidency, experienced a 30-month streak of unemployment at below 4%, a historical record with low black and Hispanic unemployment rates. Incredible, absolutely. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, we're in this fucking bizarro world where your feelings. I thought it was fuck your feelings, but it's all feelings. There's no facts.
Facts over feelings. Yeah, it's facts over feelings when they want to hate somebody.
Yes. Oh yes.
Engage in some sort of bullshit essentialism.
Yep. Incredible.
But the egg prices.
The eggs. But they don't. I mean, how much during this campaign did we have to endure on the corporate media? Not just, of course, the sane washing, but them talking about how, record job creation, but people just don't feel it. They're not feeling it. And then we would go to the polls.
Nothing more than feelings.
Right. Instead of, who cares about the feelings? Report the facts. That's it. That's all you had to do. And this is why we lost, too. Because everything it's all feelings. Like my doctor saying.
Yeah, it's feelings, and it's the feelings that are described by polling data.
Yes. And all the polls do is spread a social contagion. because others who are, because many people that they all you have to do is watch one of those, the Good Liars videos when they go interview the MAGAts to understand that the American people are, they're not, I don't know, they're playing with a full deck. They're not playing with the full deck of facts. That's for sure. Like when Trump went to Long Island and he went to this town and had a rally, and he was like, and I will restore the SALT deduction, right? That he fucking took away. Yeah. And they all cheered, but they not no one on the corporate media pointed it out. I did it on my little podcast.
Right.
But
see, and the reason they don't is they are almost inexpressibly lazy.
Yes.
That's why, I mean, I'm old enough that I can remember that, when Uncle Walter would come on at night, there would be reporters all over the country,
yes,
doing stand-ups and reporting on things that were happening.
Yes.
For not once was the desk filled with, 4 or 5 opinion people.
Yes. Yes.
Gathering away.
That's right.
It's cheaper to have those people around the desk than it is to,
right.
Than it is to actually go out and do the hard work of journalism.
Yes, it's true, because you pay these opinion people, and that's all they're doing is discussing polls, and then you're not paying a reporter to go out there and get the story and gather the information, or putting them up in hotels and paying for food or whatnot. You're just calling in your cadre of paid pundits to discuss a poll. That
quick, get Van Jones on the blower.
Right, and that was from Fox News.
When meet Chris Matthews.
Yes, when Fox News first came on the air, they of course CNN was the first 24-hour news network, right? But then, which ruined the whole Edward R. Murrow tradition.
I was there early on. Within a very few years of CNN going on the air, I was at work there. And Ted Turner's initial impulse was good. And CNN really went to hell after he got hoodooed out of it by AOL Time Warner.
Wow. And,
for instance, where I worked in Atlanta is no longer CNN. They have almost no presence in Atlanta.
Oh, really? I thought they had their studios there.
No, it's all New York now.
Oh, geez.
With a little bit of Washington, D.C.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. We had really good intentions, and we had reporters on,
Yeah.
But along came, they landed Larry King.
Right.
He made news. And, early on, because the political atmosphere hadn't become quite so toxic, Crossfire was kind of fun. It was nice to see James Buchanan get his right-wing ass handed to him once in a while.
Right.
Going back to the problems with the media, Sylvie just pointed out, if you want to see the most prophetic film about the corporate media and infotainment, just watch Network.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely on target. Yeah, Patty Chayefsky. It was.
Yes, I've seen it many times.
Yeah. Let me just check. I'm just looking at email real quick. Randy Radar said, you can't solve this problem only by voting. There's one bad party and one horrible party, and you only solve it by changing the media.
Yes.
Randy Radar gets it, and always has. You have to start with the message.
It does. That's it. It all starts with messaging.
And meanwhile, speaking of messaging, I've got a story out of Oregon. This is so gross. Someone in Lincoln County, Oregon, I have no idea where that is, has started sending out a letter calling on people to track and report brown folks.
Yeah, what?
That they suspect may be illegal immigrants.
Oh, no. Oh. What a horrible timeline.
It's even so far as it's gotten to several county officials. And according to ABC News, those officials denounced it as racist, unhelpful. Oh, really? I'm so glad you denounced it as unhelpful.
It's not helpful. You're not helping us here.
Yeah. So the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office recently learned about a letter being circulated throughout Lincoln County which encourages community members to track and report information regarding people of color, specifically community members that are believed to be undocumented. That was the sheriff of
Believed to be.
Yeah, just, in other words, just brown. We want to be unequivocal in our stance. This type of behavior is harmful, divisive, and inconsistent with the values we uphold as public servants and community members. Targeting individuals in this manner erodes trust and undermines the sense of safety and inclusion that we strive to maintain in Lincoln County.
We strive to maintain.
Yeah.
What's happening?
I mean, this is the America we live in.
Yeah.
Oregon voted double digits in favor of Kamala Harris over Nitwit Nero. But they're nowhere in this country is safe. The MAGAts are there. They're loud. They're fascist, and they want to get their goose step on.
That's it.
And
everything is woke. Oh, hi, Buddha.
I saw her a minute ago.
You hear her?
Yeah.
Meow, I don't like being picked up.
No.
She hates being held, but
she
can't be helped.
She has a supermodel kitty face.
She's beautiful. She's so cute, and when she's happy, her tail goes like a curly Q. It's very cute. She's adorable.
She must have been on your lap because I saw that for a minute.
Oh yeah, for a minute, the tail.
I thought she had a snake in the living room.
Yes, but I don't know if you heard her when I picked her up. Meow. No. Oh, hey, Mark C is in the chat. Nice to see you.
And we're coming up on the close of the program, but and thanks to George and Korskold, and thanks to our kind anonymous internet friend for getting us down to $1,210 for the deficit for this evening. Any more help is great help because let's see, I've got health insurance, internet, telephone, and more going out than is coming in, and it's worrisome this time of year because I'll be going home soon and I've got to load up on the propane.
Is it cold there now? It snowed here. It's like brutal.
We haven't seen snow here. It snowed down where I live. But yeah, it 20s and 30s.
Oh wow.
At night.
Okay.
Yeah. Not
is it
pleasant.
Okay?
Oh look, it's another CEO getting away with shit.
What?
Yeah,
Where?
The former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
What
he
happened?
was charged with running a sex trafficking ring.
Oh, of course.
And now, in unsealed court documents from Long Island, his lawyers, Michael Jeffries' lawyers, 80-year-old Michael Jeffries, said that a neuropsychologist has concluded following an exam that he likely has dementia with behavioral disturbance, Alzheimer's disease, and Lewy body dementia. And
So that's what he's blaming it on?
No, they're asking for a competency hearing, so he just won't be tried at all.
He'll get to hang out in his mansion on house arrest, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see. The charges include luring men to sex parties with fake promises of modeling jobs.
That old
Getting them all
ruse.
drunk and drugged up, and then having them wear costumes, use sex toys, and endure painful erection-inducing penile injections.
Yikes.
He's out on $10 million bond.
That hurt me, even.
Yeah, his friend has also been charged.
With friends like that.
Abercrombie and Fitch, for God's sakes.
Wow. Well, they were all discussing. Like, I'm sure, I know we're getting off the air now, but you saw the whole Matt Gaetz thing. What a gross, disgusting, vile human. And I say that with hesitation. Because, having sex with 17-year-old girls in public while taking ecstasy and snorting coke. That's your representative.
Viagra and Red Bull.
Right.
Yeah.
That's your holy rolling rep.
Floribama. That's what you voted for.
Yeah, congratulations.
Talk about that in church this Sunday.
It's incredible. And of course, there's no apology. Everything's fake news, right? That's it. He's fake news. And Steve Bannon said, oh, you could take this report and shove it up your ass. They don't care.
And said that, Jesus had it. Jesus has got this.
Jesus. Oh, that's what Matt Gaetz said?
No, that's what Steve Bannon said.
Oh.
Lady, go and sin no more.
Wow. I mean, but the Democratic Party is toxic, okay? It's the Dems. They're too woke. It's too wokeness here. Could you imagine if any one of the Democrats had a report like this? An ethics report.
Yeah.
They would have been gone. They would have been gone already. They wouldn't be on a, have their own little podcast and side hustle. Unbelievable.
No. And by the way, Abercrombie and Fitch, Matt in San Francisco, said, well, that explains the young emaciated boy models.
True.
It kind of does, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and according to some of these other Republicans, I can't remember the guy's name who hates Matt Gaetz. They all hate him, but this guy was outspoken about him, and
that was Mark Wayne Mullen.
Ah, yes, and then he changed his mind. He was like, well, whatever Trump wants for the AG, because he was out there.
Whatever Daddy wants.
Yeah,
Daddy gets.
He was saying that. If people in his district, the guy said, Mark Wayne Mullen said that if his district really likes him, but if they really knew him, they wouldn't vote for him. And then when he was nominated for AG, he was like, well, yeah, exactly. Whatever Daddy wants, Daddy gets. But this guy said in public that Matt Gaetz would go on the floor of the House and show them videos and photos of him like having sex with girls that he underage, or at least that he paid for sex. So he was engaged in prostitution or soliciting prostitutes, which is illegal, whatever. But also with underage girls. I mean, what a disgust. And so is doing drugs, Ecstasy is, as I know, things haven't changed that much since I stopped doing drugs, right? It's still illegal.
But imagine what a confession it is to proudly state that you're snorting rails of Viagra, chasing it with Red Bull,
right?
So that you can keep up with the children you're having sex with.
And isn't it gross though? The whole image of him doing this in public too, having sex out in the open with it's just so sleazy. Because there were witnesses that saw him having sex because he was doing it right outside in front of everyone. I mean, he's like a dog. That's what it reminds me of.
You remember the short career of Representative Matty Cawthorn of North Carolina?
Yes.
And how he went on a Dude Bro podcast and talked about Republican elders whom he respected had invited him to drug-fueled sex.
Yes, it was him. Probably.
Well, it may not have been Gaetz, but the thing is, these maggots bark and grunt about a cabal of sex predators.
Yeah, we trace the call.
They're the cabal.
Yes.
The cabal is coming from inside the house.
Exactly. But Madison Cawthorn, he is emblematic of who these people are, because when he was voted out, when he lost his seat, of course, everything was a big show with him. Remember when he stood up out of his wheelchair? I stand for the flag, like as if, they're just such posers, right? Yeah. And you stand for the flag, but you had no constituent services. He had none. He said the bulk of his money or whatever, the funding for his office went to comms, communications. So it was all about, like we're saying, the message. And when people would call fuck off. You need something. You need a referral to a naval academy. Go fuck yourself. You need you need help with something in the neighborhood. You know, eat shit, and or whatever you might call them for. And what happened as soon as he was voted out of office, he just left. He didn't even finish out his term. He went right to fucking Maramoron and left the office, it was done. He was done. It was over. They voted me out. No integrity, no honor, no decency. You know, he doesn't finish out his term. He's still supposed to be working.
Right.
Yeah, there's still things that your constituents might need, but that's who they are in a nutshell. But, okay, the Democrats are toxic. Yeah, there's some toxicity, I think, whatever. We know what it is. It's money in politics, but it's nothing. What's more...
And old people clinging to power.
Yes. But what's more toxic is the lies, you know, that I'd rather... Yeah, let's have the criticism about the actual things that are going on, like what Nancy Pelosi did to AOC, and but not about it's too woke and they're not doing anything for working people, because there is nothing further from the truth.
I sure could have stood some more wokeness from about 81 Democrats.
Yes, exactly, and that's there's ways. If they're afraid of messaging, which is such bullshit. I mean, it really does come down to freedom and decency and the general welfare, and we're in this together, and e pluribus unum. That's how you frame it. You know, leave people the fuck alone. You know, I mean, it's insane. And the Democrats, as far as with trans people, you know, because the Republicans are... they've introduced over 700 anti-trans bills last year, and I'm sure more is to come. But the Democrats could point that out and use that as, you know, as an obsession, as an unholy, ungodly, sick obsession with what less than 1% of the population, which is awful and dangerous and disgusting. And the Democrats,
look, it's simple enough. Their fascination with the genitals of total strangers,
that's the way to put it.
Twisted.
Yes,
perverted.
And the Democrats could use that like that. Say it like what you just said, and judo, whatever, you know, judo that shit.
Yeah.
Fucking turn it right on its head. Turn it against them. Make them. They are the sick, disgusting pee-pee police. And they are in every nook and cranny of your life. Talk about big government. So, I don't know, Robyn. We got a lot of work to do ahead of us.
But I hope you have the day off.
All right. Okay. I hope so too.
I'll be back at it on Thursday.
Oh, all right. Good. All right, guys. Sorry, I know I'm keeping you late here. Let's wrap it up so everybody can have a merry Io Saturnalia. Io, huh? Yo. E-I-E-I-O. Yo. Saturnalia.
Yeah.
Okay. Yo. I always said Io. Yo Saturnalia.
It's actually kind of a diphthong. It's Io.
Yo? Oh, whatever.
Yo.
I can barely say with the words like...
Or in those days, shepherds watching over their flocks by night, and lo, an angel of the Lord appeared unto them and said, Fear not, for I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For today is unto you in the city of Bethlehem a Savior, which is named Christ the Lord.
Really? Is that what they said? They were like, really?
That's just Luke chapter 2.
Oh.
And
very nice.
You know, last year, and I haven't seen the stories yet. Last year, Israel bombed Bethlehem on Christmas Eve.
Oh, jeez.
So
Jesus.
I'm wondering what they're going to do for an encore. Maybe the Herodian slaughter of the innocents. No, wait, they already did that.
True. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
Jesus.
Well, we'll find out. We'll see.
Well, come January 20th, whatever's left to blow up in Gaza and the West Bank is going to
Right.
get blown the hell up.
Yeah, they'll probably
How's
use
that-
some
how's
kind
that
of nuke.
Yeah, how's that working out for you, the Muslims in Dearborn?
Yes, exactly.
Proud of yourself? Really?
Yeah,
Are you?
when they, when he's like, why can't we nuke it? Yeah, they'll turn that into beachfront property. That's what they want to do, right? That's it.
Already said so.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Exactly.
The Trump Hotel International Casino and
Yes. You got to get rid of all the people though, and so they
right.
can.
right there on the beach in Gaza.
Yes. Yes. Maybe. I don't know. We're in for a shit show, but I'm glad we're in this together. I don't know what I'd do without you.
I'd be lost, and I really do. For this time of being grateful and thankful, I'm so glad and so happy to call you my friend.
Aw, thank you. Right back at you.
Thank you.
Right back at you. Where's Booty? Booty! She's gone. All right. I love you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Io Saturnalia.
Yo, Saturnalia, joyeux Noël, fröhliche Weihnacht. Way back, I mentioned working at CNN. Way back when I was at CNN, I worked with a brilliant woman. She had been a journalist in Japan. She was American of Japanese ancestry.
Mm-hmm.
Parents had been in the internment camps. But she wanted to get in touch with her roots, and she went back to Japan and became the first woman to anchor a newscast.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So she told me the story about how, when Westerners go to Japan, the Japanese are very polite and friendly and, help explain, language. And she said, when I landed there, I looked Japanese, and they're like, what are you, stupid? You don't speak Japanese?
Wow. Oh, wow.
And of course, she was from Marietta, Georgia, and her English sounded a little bit like this.
Oh, my. That's crazy.
But she told me there's a purpose to all of this, I swear.
It's fine. Yeah, it's interesting.
So she told me that anytime the Japanese run up against a word that doesn't exist in Japanese,
yes,
that they will just put a U on the end of it. And she gave me examples.
Yes.
Baseball. Baseball.
Oh.
Ice cream.
They don't have ice cream?
Not until no. And
okay.
Ice cream. The outlier was the Golden Arches, and this one took me some time. Mako de Nododo.
Oh my God! I would never know. Mako de Nododo.
Mako de Nododo. And you go to Mako de Nododo and you order a bigumaku.
Well, I can understand that. Big Mac. That's funny.
Well, you'd have to go back to the archive and hear my story from yesterday of the aggressive Merry Christmas lady.
Oh, no. Oh,
yeah,
no.
I went to her in Aldi. She was like, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. No, we say Merry Christmas.
Well, can you give us the elevator story?
I mean, I just did.
Oh, so where was she?
Aldi. And she walked right past the grocery store. Yeah.
And you said Happy Holidays, and she.
I replied Happy Holidays, and she had a conniption.
Oh God! Well, that's Trump for you.
Up with me saying, you don't want a Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. That's a holiday too.
Well, that's it. They can't.
There are more than one holiday.
They're very fragile.
They are. They're dainty. They're delicate.
Yes.
They're
and
friable.
They hate freedom. Exactly.
All those other, fröhliche Weihnacht, Buon Natale, all of that. And then I got to thinking about, well, I guess you'd probably do the same thing with Merry Christmas that you do with ice cream or Big Macs or.
Yes.
So, Merry Christmas.
Very good.
One of these days I'm going to study.
Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Yes. Not this guy.
No, I have some very good friends who are Japanese, and my friend Miho, when she comes over, they're very polite. So like if I give her something to eat, and I'm like, you don't have to eat that, just don't, like, she'll eat the whole thing and she won't, even though like she'll hate it, or whatever. I'm like, you don't have to eat that. If you don't like it, don't eat it, or whatever. And she'll, it's just so funny because That's how, it's not polite if you don't eat the whole thing. And I'm like, I don't know. That's just something, because I'm always like, don't have to do that, like, but they're very, very funny. She's very funny.
If you were a meaner woman, you'd say that.
I know, I just give her like, very untasty things, but yes, no.
Well, listen, I hope you have a very
All
nice
right.
tomorrow. I love you.
Yes, love you too. And I'll talk to you later. See ya.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye, honey.
Bye.
See you soon.
See ya.
All right. You could just hang up. I don't know. I'm trying to. All right. Bye-bye. That's so funny. I couldn't find the hang up button. And she kept saying, goodbye, goodbye. All right, guys. I forgot again to do the plugs. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News. Not that I forgot Charlie. It's just getting Robyn on the air when I start the show. It's a little distracting. And thank you, patrons at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. I promise in the new year I'll give the patron page some more love. I gotta fix it up. I gotta do a new video. Oops, wrong button. I gotta do a lot of things. There's a lot of shit I gotta do. And thank you, Elise, for your super chat. Thank you, Mark C, for your super chat. Nice to see you. Been away for a while and missed everyone, although being across the pond was good for the soul. Happy/merry everyone. Well, nice to have you back. I can't wait to hear all about your trip. And thank you, Colin, for your super chat. Nice to see you, Colin, hanging out on this Saturnalia / Christmas Eve. Why can't I talk? And thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Thank you. And also for being a moderator. And thank you, Haiku, for being a moderator and for hanging out. We will win. We will win. It's going to be a tough year. Let's gird our loins. Right? I'm just looking for this video. Wait. Gird? I must have this. We got to gird our loins. Where is it? Come on, gird your loins.
Gird your loins for battle. Gird your loins, baby. We're going to fight.
Gird your loins. Can you believe these fucking people? Can you believe we live in a country where people say, gird your loins, and they're serious about it? Oh, wait, where is my eCam? Gird your loins for battle, everyone.
Gird your loins for battle. Gird your loins, baby. We're going to fight. That's right. You put on the full armor of God. You take a stand against the left schemes.
The schemes of living wages, retirement security, health care, all those schemes. Yes, Friday will be a birthday show. I'm having a birthday on Friday. And we'll have a show, and therefore it'll be a birthday show, I guess. Okay, listen, guys. Listen. I gotta go lay down. You know what? I'm gonna confess. You know what I'm gonna do? Right now? I'm gonna play Grand Theft Auto. I am on Christmas Eve. Because they have that on Netflix now. If you have a Netflix subscription, they have all these games on there. And I used to play a lot of games when I was a kid. I can't do it anymore because I do play some Game of Thrones games. I told you about that, but I'm on a team and everything. It's an international team. And I play the game right there. But I always have it. I got to put my troop. You never know when you're going to get orders from your liege to put your troops somewhere. So, but I feel like playing some goddamn Grand Theft Auto. I can only do it now, not really having any, what do you call it? A lot of work going on, except for the show. So, I'm going to go down memory lane and play some video games. I think so. Right? I think so. I bought this. and it's been charging. See? All right, that's what I'm going to do. Ow, shit. And I dropped it. I hope I didn't break it. All right, my friends, listen, listen, listen. We will win. We will. Why? Because we're on the right side of history. We are. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Thank you all for hanging out tonight on a Christmas Eve. I love you all. I couldn't think of a better place and better people to spend it with. So thank you for making my evening and making my 2025. We're in this together, and I'll meet you at the barricades. God damn it. But we will win. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News, for hosting this show on your platform and for all you do for the community, cats. Thank you, patrons at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Thank you, everyone in the chat, and for all your super chats and for your love and for your dedication to the show. It means the world to me. I can't do it alone, and better yet, we don't have to do it alone. We have each other, so thank you. Thank you for giving me some hope. It's going to be a tough 4 years, but why am I making this speech now? This is the New Year's speech. My name is Tara Devlin. I love you all, and I will see you on Friday night.